coalition will today unveil its nuclear energy plan, promising it would save Australians $264 billion by 2050 compared to Labor's renewables-only plan. Peter Dutton hopes to use a combination of renewables, gas and nuclear power under his policy. But the news follows the release of a conflicting CSIRO report that found large-scale nuclear energy would cost significantly more than new wind or solar generation. For their take, let's bring in journalist Joe Hildebrand and the founding director of Western Sydney Women, Amanda Rose. Good morning to you. Joe, we've been waiting for these costings for a while. What do you think of them?
How good are costings, huh? How good's the modelling? They said they'd bring out the costings before Christmas. They have done it, so they've kept to that, and that is fantastic. But there are so many different moving parts and sleights of hand in this. Firstly, the people that they have got to model their costings are the same people that they have got to model Labor's costings. So they're not comparing apples with apples. In other words, the coalition has come out and says, we say that our bill will be $330 billion, but we also say what Labor's bill is. In fact, what they say their cost is going to be is more than double, almost 3 times, what Labor's own figures say about Labor's own policies. So basically, they have commissioned their own group, which is entirely within their rights, to say how expensive the Labor Party's renewables plan is going to be, and then commission the same people to say how cheap comparatively their costings are going to be. And the best part is, the kicker, is that the same people who said that Labor's were going to be 650 billion odd, which is 5 times what Labor said they were going to be, have just said in the latest thing that it's going to be less than 600 billion. So in a month since they costed Labor then and now, it's come off $50 million.
It's hard. We don't want to get too bogged down because it's getting complicated. Didn't Labor use the same people as...
Yes.
The coalition has.
Yes, absolutely.
So
previously in the past, though, but not for the same plan.
Right,
but they've used that firm in the past.
Not completely fly by night. I mean,
no. The point is, you can ask people. You can ask people to, with modelling. You can ask people to say, "We want this. We want you to put in all these inputs," and you can basically get it to say whatever you want it to say. Okay,
so they're basically saying the first nuke. The first power plant, Amanda, will be ready in New South Wales in about 11 years' time. The coalition's going to do 53% renewables, 38% nukes. The Labor's going to do 83% renewables. What do you reckon? What do you like?
I don't like government at all, politicians. But the thing is, because they're going to say what they need to say to win. And we saw this at the last election when Labor said it'll be cheaper, and it wasn't cheaper for your energy bill. So I always say put everything through a filter, especially coming up to election time. But I like the idea. The one thing I like about the coalition's plan is that they're not just focusing on one particular source of energy, which I think is smart. And it's smart politically because a lot of people are going to feel comfortable with a certain type of energy form. So therefore, they're probably going to reach a larger market with the election saying, oh, but I like that they're not doing just all renewables. And people are worried that renewables are more expensive than they're made out, which they are, a lot more expensive because they're opening up their bill and saying, hang on a minute, why is this costing me so much? So they've got a benefit in that aspect.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think a lot of people thought the coalition was going to come out and do all nukes. It's about 40%. No, that's right.
Exactly. And look,
so they're into the renewables, 50% of it.
Right.
I think you want to be energy agnostic, and it's not even so much the symbol of whether it's renewable or not, but it's a matter of where it plugs into the grid. So you can put nuclear power plants in the same place the old power plants were. That means you don't have to build all these new transmission lines, which is where a whole bunch of Labor's cost comes from, because you have to, of course, build all the lines to where the sun is shining and the wind is blowing to connect it. But again, I think the cleverness of... I actually do not think that the coalition ever intends to build a nuclear power plant. I think what they are doing is making sure that by everyone talking about nuclear, we are thinking about power prices, we are thinking about energy reliability, and that draws the debate to what is a weak spot for Labor at the moment, which is exactly where the coalition wants it. So it's almost just a way to keep us all talking about energy, thinking about our energy.
It's political? No, Joe.
Yeah, no, it's political and it's quite... It's political and it's quite ingenious. And again, the time frame for actually building these things, small modular reactors, on the other hand, could be a game changer, but the technology just isn't there yet. So I
Which
have
is
no,
fine, because
I
they
have no
really
problem with
should be
nuclear.
using what's available now to keep prices low and plan for the future, and whatever that is, that's going to keep prices low in the future.
Let's hope not, because people are suffering through their power prices, and we need a solution.
Yes,
and everyone's
it's immediate.
Everyone's sick of everyone talking. So, I mean, what happened to looking to the future and actually getting something done? I hope someone's being serious about it.
We definitely need to do that.
Yeah.
The problem with the nuclear stuff is the lead time puts it too much in the future. It can't be done as quickly.
But just remember, they talked about renewables, both sides of politics, for about 20 years, and then all of a sudden they're trying to play catch-up. Labor's playing catch-up.
Well, that's because the coalition was in power for the last 10 years.
That's what I'm saying. It's just always discussed.
Okay. Just quickly, Donald Trump, Time Magazine's Person of the Year. What do you think, Amanda?
Oh, it's how you sell your magazine, isn't it? And putting him on the front, because I think if they put someone else on, there'd be a problem. Look, I am going to say I agree, and that's simply because Time also said that I was an internet-winning blogger once, so they must be right with what they say.
Well, more people in the US voted for him than anyone else. He's a very popular man.
Yeah, that's right. I was once named by the Dandenong Examiner as a online sensation. So I feel like Trump and I have that same kind of synergy. It's amazing. Donald Trump's comeback is the greatest political comeback of all time. He has basically written a Hollywood script, a Hollywood blockbuster and a sequel in real life, in real time. It is extraordinary, and I think it's just amazing. And he's taught the Democrats a lesson they really deserve to learn.
I know. Yeah,
he absolutely has. Amazing political campaigner. Okay, thank you both.
Thanks, guys.